Jeff.
Good morning, Chair Rogers and members of the committee and staff. I'm Jeff Eshelman, President and CEO of the Independent Petroleum Association of America, a trade group that since 1929 has represented the companies that explore for and produce the majority of natural gas and oil here in America. But before I tell you more about America's independent oil and natural gas producers and their importance to the nation's energy supply, I want to thank you for holding this roundtable to discuss the affordability and reliability of energy costs for American consumers. By scheduling this roundtable today, it's a clear signal that is one of the very first actions of the 118th Congress that U.S. energy policy is a priority for the members of this committee and for the U.S. House of Representatives. And for that, I want to thank you. Energy supply and demand are something that affects all Americans, how we heat our homes, how we fuel our cars. A shout out to my fellow participants today, the tractors and the trucks. And it's how we cook our food and power everything we use all day. Energy policies set by the federal government have implications not only here at home for our economic and national security, but also for our global allies. We've seen these incursions in Kuwait and Iraq and today in the Ukraine. I'd like to give a quick explanation about the natural gas and oil companies represented by the Independent Petroleum Association of America. When most of us think about America's natural gas and oil industry, we think it's only large, multinational, sometimes foreign companies. The industry is often referred to as big oil, but that's a big myth. Propelled and promoted by extreme activists, basically, who wanted to go to any lengths to demonize the industry and mislead the public and policymakers to reach their ultimate goal, which is to end all fossil fuel development, which also results in restricted consumer choice. These companies, who many have never heard of, are generally small. There's about 6,000 of them exploring for and producing oil and natural gas here across the nation. They're spread across 33 states. They're often small businesses with less than 20 employees. Some independents are mom and pops, passed down through the generations. They're active in their local communities. And yes, there are some larger publicly traded independents, but this is hardly the mischaracterization that is promulgated by the No New Fossil Fuels public relations machine. A comparison might be to think of your local independent grocery or corner store versus a Walmart. And here's the kicker. Collectively, these small businesses are responsible for drilling 91% of the nation's oil and gas wells. They account for 54% of America's oil supply and 85% of our domestic natural gas supply. So it's these smaller producers who are actually out there in the field creating most of the nation's energy security. Through good times and bad, they invest billions in new projects every day, every year. Through their efforts, today America is a world leader in natural gas and oil production. And we're doing it responsibly. Now, thanks to the use of affordable, reliable natural gas, America has its cleanest air in more than 2 decades, while natural gas and oil production is at record levels. We're the envy of nations. We lead the world in reducing emissions. Supply and demand go hand in hand, as we'll hear today. But on both sides of the equation, there are many strengths, weaknesses, opportunities, and threats to consider. I'm sure we'll discuss many of these and look forward to keeping the dialogue open with you over the next 2 years in the 118th Congress, with all of you, your colleagues, and your staff. Thank you again for inviting IPAA to participate and for making American energy policy a priority for this nation. Thank you.
Thank you. Very good.